Hey guys, it's Alyssa here over at Books and Cats, and today I shall be doing Tuesday Talks. If you're not familiar with Tuesday Talks, I'm not that familiar with it either. Basically, it's kind of like Top 5 Wednesday, where it's a Goodreads group and there's a topic every Tuesday, and it's more like chatty, from what I understand, than Top 5 Wednesday is, which is more like suggestions, like holding up specific books. So I'm trying out this, which is much more chatty than Top 5 Wednesday. Obviously, it's a different group. It was, I believe, created by Janie, and she has a channel, and I shall link the Goodreads group and her channel down below. This week's topic is how do you get out of the slump, which is a great topic for me because I'm in slumps all the time. Here are some of my tips as to how I get out of it. Maybe you've heard them before. You know, it's a much talked about topic, but here are some of my tips and maybe they'll help you. So let's get started. Graphic novels are great. Graphic novels and like trade paperback comics are your best friend. They are for me anyway. They always work. They always make me, because I know when I'm in a slump, I always feel like I'm being not productive and not getting things read, and especially if you have a goal, like a Goodreads goal or like just a yearly reading goal, whatever the case may be. I've found that graphic novels really help to get towards that goal and keep you on track and make you not feel like a complete and utter loser, because that's what I tend to feel. I'm like, wow, I have one job and that's to read and I'm not doing it, so I'm therefore a failure. Kind of with that, also to read shorter books. That's a great tip of mine. This is actually a great book for a tag I'm supposed to be filming soon. But I mean, short little tiny books like this. You know, don't reach for the 700-page high fantasy Brandon Sanderson book that, you know, you've had on your shelf. Don't worry about that right now. Worry about the small books. Also, poetry is another great thing. I'm not that well versed in it. Look up some videos and stuff for suggestions and, you know, just try some of that maybe. And maybe pick up a couple picture books. I've done that a couple times. That might also help. Kind of along the topic of feeling like a failure and feeling like you're not getting anything done. If you're like me and you will also continue to watch booktube videos while you're in a slump, sometimes I've found that it helps motivate me and sometimes it just makes me feel like I'm falling further into my hole. You also have to remember, if you're watching other people and you're feeling discouraged because, you know, so-and-so is reading, you know, 30 books a month, don't worry. Everybody reads differently. Just remember that. Don't stress. You know, you could pick up, you know, and next month read 17 things. You never know. You never know. You don't know. So just remember, people read differently because it's a hobby and it's supposed to be fun. So don't stress about it. That's another big thing. Big tip is to not stress about it. Do not stress, because you'll eventually get out of it. And sometimes, I mean, people will not read, you know, much for a year. You know, sometimes life gets crazy. Like, life gets insane. So remember, everybody reads differently. We all read different things, so don't get stressed out. Remember also to not read heavy material. Maybe it might help you. Maybe you'll get so immersed in the story that you'll get out of your slump. But with most people, probably not the case. I would read, you know, contemporaries or a quick poetry book or a verse book, you know, a book in verse, or just other things that aren't super heavy, or make sure that the story is definitely gonna like suck you in and keep your attention, and, you know, do that, not the reading that's kind of gonna be slow and you really have to pay attention, because probably not the best time for that. Another thing to do to keep, like, you know, yourself encouraged is to maybe participate in a couple of readathons. I found that readathons were so wonderful. They are wonderful things. You know, create a TBR, and even if you don't follow that TBR, that's totally okay. I do that a lot. More often than not, don't follow my TBR and still participate in the readathon, and it's such a great thing because you feel so encouraged and you can participate in sprints on Twitter, and, you know, and you get this big community feeling and you're all reading together, and, you know, you just, it's a great booster to kind of almost force you to read when you normally wouldn't, you know, like if someone's like, oh, you know, there's a sprint going on like right now, let's go and do it, and you're like, oh, okay, let me go and do that. With certain readathons, if there's like a page for it, I'll actually turn on the notifications like for Twitter on my phone, so that way I get the notification and then I'll go and I'll do the sprint and then come back and stuff like that. So that's another big thing. So I have 2 more tips, and one of the last ones is to don't be afraid to switch up what you're in the middle of reading at the moment. If you're in the middle of reading a couple things, whether it be one thing, maybe put it down, maybe pick up another thing. Don't be afraid to pick up more than one book at a time. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it really isn't gonna hurt you. I've never had a problem with it. I've been doing it since I was like 12. The only thing I wouldn't suggest is picking 2 books in a very similar genre that you know are gonna kind of be similar, because I've actually mixed up details of both of the books before. So I would definitely, like, you know, maybe read a couple different things, try chapters and different things, see if you're feeling it out at the moment, and just, you know, kind of get feelers out for what you're in the mood for. Don't be afraid to pick up multiple things or put down multiple things and pick up a brand new thing and then come back to those later. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You keep reading. That's the important part, I think. My last tip might not be helpful for people, but it sometimes helps me, is to not read. Take a break from reading. I'm currently doing that right now. I'm not taking a break from reading. I am kind of like in the middle of 3 different books. I'm kind of like halfway in the middle of all of them. I'm kind of like, really don't want to finish anything right now, but I don't want to start anything else, because then that, you know, kind of like, it's too much. So, you know, maybe take a break. Watch some TV that you've been collecting, like I have, which I've collected like 4 episodes of How to Get Away with Murder, and now I'm like watching the season finale and I'm like dying inside because I'm so stressed out. But don't read. Watch some TV, listen to music. Don't read for a little bit. Don't stress about it. Don't stress. Do not stress, because it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to have a good time. You're supposed to enjoy what you're reading. So those are my tips. They might help you, they might not. If you liked it, please go ahead and subscribe. I post fairly regularly. I'm trying to once a week. Thank you, Ambulance, for coming literally out of nowhere. Let me know some of your tips down below if you have any different ones. I'd like to know, because I am, you know, a person that gets in this predicament quite often. So I'd like some help with it, please. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I'll see you next time.